Shalom, family. Good to see everybody here. Hope you're doing well. Just letting you know, you have today and tomorrow to take advantage of the Chebe butter that's on sale for 45% off. So the sale will be over on Monday at 11:59 p.m. And I have plenty in stock. In fact, I woke up this morning and made a fresh gallon. So there is plenty left right now. So, y'all, don't forget to look over on my community tab. I have the link over there and also the promo, which is new butter. So just go over to Etsy and take advantage of this discount. So, y'all, we're going to talk about the heat dome in America. They said this heat dome over the Midwest, and now it's stretched across to the Southwest and parts of Texas, is the largest heat dome on Earth right now. And is expanding every single day. So now this is like the third to be over it's literally parked over the Midwest. It's parked, it's not moving. And they're saying they're anticipating temperatures to go as high as 120. That is like insane. And there's no relief. So they're estimating 80 to 100 million people will be impacted by this heat wave, which is getting hotter each day and it's expanding and getting bigger every single day. My heart goes out to the people in the Midwest because it is crazy. CJ Field, you said it was 112 degrees at just a few. Woo, man. I'm screaming at 101. The highest we went up to was 105 when we had our heat wave, when we were in triple digits for like 4 days in a row. We went up to 105. But 112, oh, that is like crazy. So, y'all, it just goes to show you these heat waves are getting worse. The one in Europe is still going on as well. And I was reading more people by the thousands have died over there in Europe. And in America, not so many. The one thing we got on our side, we have AC. Maybe not every home in America, but we definitely got more AC here than Europe does. But even in certain temperatures, once it gets past certain temperatures, even your AC can only do so much. Ultimately it will still cool the house, and you're still better off with it than without it. Oh yeah, I heard about the wildfires over there. Yes, I did hear about that. Mhm. Wow. Yeah. Look, I remember when we were going through the triple digits, the nighttime temperatures really didn't help that much. It was almost like you went to bed hot and you woke up hot. It really, and by the time it would cool down, it would be going back up. And it's good to have that temperature drop because all of your outdoor vegetation, it gives that a chance to kind of recuperate from the daily hot temperatures. The night temperatures, it kind of regenerates the grass and all of the shrubbery and everything because it's tough on them too. So, y'all, and you guys in the Midwest, and I heard even North Dakota went over 100 degrees. North Dakota? That's crazy. And y'all, this thing is spanned all the way into Canada. I thought it was just here in the US. No, part of it is spanned into Canada. And do you know Canada said about the wildfires that it is impossible for them to put all of the wildfire out. It is impossible because it is so big and there are certain areas that they can't get into and put the fire out. So they're saying it's impossible. I mean, that is absolutely crazy. Yeah, the Most High is telling people something. He's telling them he gonna fry their behinds. That's what he's telling them. He gonna fry your butt. So anyway, y'all. Oh yeah, China's going through it. Parts of mountains crumbling and falling, and I saw a one probably like back in June where a dam failed and this whole big area in this village just was underwater. Oh yeah, they're going through it. China has always gone through it. That's just more sign of judgment right there. It really is. That's judgment. All right, y'all. Let me go ahead and share my screen. Let's see. Yes. Okay. Please give me a 1 if you can see my screen. Thank you.
Dome on the planet on top of the U.S. The biggest heat dome on the planet on top of the U.S. Much of the nation will endure a brutal and long-lasting heat wave. Weekend highs reaching 105 in the plains from Texas all the way up to Canada. Hundreds of heat records over the next week. The hottest weather will be in the Southwest, with Phoenix topping 110 on 7 of the next 10 days. Palm Springs should exceed 120, even flirting with its all-time record of 124 by next weekend, as the heat dome challenges all-time record heights. Meanwhile, in the east, it's a horse of a different color under a big dip in the jet stream. Temps up to 20 degrees below normal in the northeast, and a stalled front across Florida means steamy, stormy weather dominates, with rounds of rain and several inches by next weekend. For more, follow me, Jeff Baradelli, the Weather Professor.
Other thing that we're watching in the days to come, Melanie, you know that I love summertime.
Okay? I know you do. You're a summertime guy.
I am.
That's your vibe.
I don't like the cold. I love the heat, but even for me, I feel like this might be a little bit too much.
You know what? There are nearly 100 million people that are under some form of heat alert through tomorrow, about 40 million under the extreme heat warning, which is the highest you can get here. You can see the central portion of the U.S. really bearing the worst of it, but also parts of Southern California and Phoenix. So the deserts where you typically think of the heat, but even for them, this is a little bit on the extreme side. So you look at the overall setup that we still have in place. We still have this heat dome that's locked in place. In fact, the strongest heat dome that you're currently experiencing across the entire planet. Then there's also this high pressure that's in place, and this continues to drive the heat and keep it around with really no relief through the overnight hours as well. These temperatures staying rather warm, and in fact, good enough to tie a record in Phoenix on Friday, 97 degrees. This was the all-time record, a warm low. It tied it, and those records go back to the 1800s. So this has been long-standing here. In fact, it was around midnight, 1 a.m. that the temperature was still 107 degrees. Phoenix hit above 115 for the past couple of days. And you look at the temperatures right now, where it's going to be the warmest for you. Joplin, really no relief overnight, 81 degrees. And then you factor in the heat indices. That's going to be the other part of the story, because we'll have plenty of moisture around that's still going to make it feel oppressive on our bodies. Forecasted high temperatures today, anywhere from the mid 90s up into the the triple digits across parts of the central U.S. Here are your dew points. So it feels sticky out there with dew points that are going to be ranging in the 60s and 70s. So for some of us, this is going to feel like it's anywhere from 105 to 115 degrees. Feels like 113 for you today in Kansas City. Feels like 105 even in Minneapolis. Potential record highs. Yeah, we could tie or break some of them. You're looking at Rapid City, South Dakota could tie that record of 104 set back in 1987. And how about Pueblo, Colorado? 106 could definitely shatter that record of 102 set back just a few years ago. So forecasted highs today continue to keep those triple digits around. We continue to keep them in the forecast tomorrow, anywhere from the mid 90s to above 100 degrees. And specifically looking in and around the desert Southwest as well. This heat is going to stick around. In fact, we might get a little bit of a break to start the early next week, but then we just get this resurgence and this overall pattern that sets the stage yet again. So Jane, yeah, goes without saying, this heat has been extreme and it's not going anywhere.
It's not. In fact, this heat dome that we have in place across the central tier of the country right now, it is the strongest heat dome in the world. And so with that, its roots are certainly planted. And we're going to watch it migrate, I think, as we go through the next few weeks, but expect it to stick around. It is the middle of summer, after all. End of July, you do see temperatures that are prolonged into the 90s, triple digits. So here's a look at the overall forecast as we close out the month of July. This jet stream stays to the north. We're going to get those ridge riders that work up and around that high pressure. So expecting a stormier pattern to continue to stick around across the northern tier of the country. But underneath that high pressure, the heat continues to bake. And this is going to stay with us not just throughout the week, but as we look ahead into August, that high pressure shifting over the four corners back onto the west coast. And that is where we are expecting to see temperatures continue to climb. And this is where we could see the placement of this high become a little troublesome for us in spots like California, Nevada, down into Arizona. Not only are we looking at really dangerous temperatures, but, high pressure sitting over the Great Basin does oftentimes bring along with it a fire threat. So we'll have to monitor that. We already know that that's been a bigger problem across the Pacific Northwest, but this overall forecast is going to continue to promote that watch over the next, say, several weeks. Potential record highs, we're looking at more than 70 just this week alone, while the number of folks that are under our heat alerts, or I should say seeing temperatures above 90 degrees, will start to dwindle heading into this weekend. It's just the displacement of that high as it gets back into position. But we expect as we head into early August, the West Coast will be baking and those temperatures on the East Coast will start to climb as well.
It's 9 o'clock at night. I just walked out of my car and this is how hot it is right now. Like instant fogged up. Like I'm just stepping into a sauna. It's wild. It's wild.
It's hot. I know. It's summer, right? This is different. I'm CBS News meteorologist Andrew Kozak. It's Saturday, July 25th. Europe started the summer off with a massive heat dome. Then we had multiple across the east. Montana hit an incredible 115 degrees. And now we have another huge heat dome moving across the west and the Midwest this week. On that, more than 100 million people could face major to extreme heat with temperatures topping 110 degrees. And just so you know, a heat dome is a huge area of high pressure that traps hot air like a lid on a pot. And day after day, that heat builds, those temperatures climb, and records start to fall. And just so you know, heat domes are not new, but as the climate warms, yes, it's happening, they're producing more extreme temperatures in more places. As far as the heat dome that's going to intensify and stay across the Midwest and the West, well, that will likely take the top headlines in weather for the U.S. this coming week. I'll have much more on all of this tonight on the CBS Evening News, starting at 6:30, 5:30 Central.
Big heat is about to build back into the Lone Star State. Howdy, I'm meteorologist Josh Johns with Fox 4 in Dallas, Texas. And the heat dome is starting to build across the western portions of the country again. That heat dome really building in will bring the big heat back to our area. Now, on the edge of that heat dome, that's where we can see showers and thunderstorms up across parts of Montana and South Dakota here this evening. But it is certainly going to be hot under that high pressure center, which is a regular occurrence during the summer. But every time it comes, it feels like it gets a little stronger sometimes. Today, breaking 112 in Rapid City. That's the hottest temperature they have ever recorded in South Dakota. Also broke records in parts of Phoenix, Denver. Did not break records in Dallas-Fort Worth, but we may be challenging them
here by the end of the week. It's because this heat dome is going to be building back over North Texas. That means the big temperatures are coming back. I'm talking 105s, maybe even 106s at times, especially for the middle of the work week. But by the time we get to the end of the week, it is possible that that heat dome will break down enough. We may be able to see some small chances of showers and thunderstorms working back in. But prepare for the heat. Feel like temperatures likely getting above 106, if not approaching 110 here as we go into the new work week. I think the highest feel like temperature likely there on Tuesday at 109. That means some of you could be even hotter than that. Big heat hangs around through the week, but by the end of the week, I have introduced a 10% chance of rain in Dallas-Fort Worth. Stay cool and stay tuned to Fox 4 for more weather updates.
This isn't just a hot week. It's the atmosphere locking into place. A massive ridge of high pressure is locked over the southwest, keeping heat trapped across the region day after day. Palm Springs is forecast to reach 115 to 118 degrees. The nights aren't cooling either, giving vegetation and soils little chance to recover. Heat doesn't start wildfires. It makes them far harder to control once they begin.
Y'all, this is crazy. It is crazy to see this heat dome is the biggest and largest and hottest on the earth. And wow, America, judgment is real, hon. Judgment is real. CJ Field, thank you for the super sticker and your support from my channel. Carlette, good to see you. Thank you for your super chat. They are predicting triple digits here in California. I am glad to have melanin. Amen. And thank you for your support from my channel. Lisa Pfeiffer, thank you for the super sticker and your support from my channel. Thank you so much. And y'all, like I said, when it was triple digits here on the East Coast, the nighttime temperature was no relief. I remember one night the temperature was dropping and it was 11 o'clock. I think it was the 105-degree day. At 11 o'clock, we were still at 94 degrees. It was dropping so slowly. It was so slow. It was really painful. You know, it's that late at night and it is still hot. And then I remember another night, it was 2 a.m. and it was still like 88 outside. I mean, you don't get that much relief at night, that's for sure, when it's triple digits. They're not lying about that, because I saw that with my own two eyes. The heat wave we had about 2 weeks ago, I saw that with my own two eyes. CJ Field, you said, yes, at night it was like 98 degrees. Yeah, I mean, it really goes down. When you have these heat waves, it goes down very slow. Not unless you got a rain event coming, it might knock it down several degrees. But if you don't have no rain coming and you just live through a triple digit day, when the nighttime comes, I mean, it drops painfully slow. It really does. You know, y'all, I think I lost weight. I notice I have an angel ring that I wear. And I noticed, especially this morning, I had to take it off because I was afraid I was going to lose it. When I got up this morning, it felt loose. And I was like, why does my ring feel so loose? And it was loose to the point where it was, you know, it could easily come off of my hand. So I ended up taking it off because I didn't want to lose it. But the ring is like sliding all over the place when I move my hand now, and it was not happening like that before. So I said, you know, I might have to get my butt up on the scale and see where I am, because that ring has never been loose. I've had that ring for about 5 years, and it's never been that loose on my hand. So that's strange. eWhirl, thank you for the super sticker and your support from my channel. Thank you so much. I don't know, y'all. Is you too? That's happening to you too. I don't know. Maybe we're transforming, y'all. We are supposed to get rid of these bodies, and I'm glad the Most High don't want them because they are definitely toxic. We've been eating all of the food that these Gentiles have made toxic and using all kinds of pesticides that never was used on vegetation before is being used now. So yeah, we all have been victims of it for real. So y'all, I'm going to go ahead and conclude. Now, I do have a few more lives that are coming up. So, one I got coming up is a white man really airing out about how he feels about the Haitians because the Haitians have been online, especially over on TikTok, really attacking us. And I noticed one thing about all of these immigrants, the Latinos did the same thing. Every time somebody white say something disparaging about it, they'd come online and attack us. The Haitians are now doing it, and the Africans do it as well. So, what I conclude, y'all, is they are just afraid. I think they are afraid that if they come out against white people that are speaking against them and speaking against immigration, they may get kicked out of here. So they don't challenge it at all, you know? And but us, they know if they come at us, it really doesn't make any difference. They're not going to get thrown out of here because of us, but they may get thrown out of here because of white people. And I really think that's why they won't do it. And North Carolina have been going through multiple power outages to the point where the people are coming out online. There are some saying they go out once a week, and sometimes they're out for a few days. You know how hard it is to be in this summer heat and you got a power outage and you're out for a few days. Well, this is happening a lot more often in North Carolina. Now, many people are saying they believe this is because of all those data centers they got there. Because it's not just North Carolina, it's people in other parts of the country. But right now, North Carolina is really putting it out there in a big way. But other states have been experiencing it too. They'll go out and they don't come back on for several hours or even for a few days. Now, they're not admitting it. But like I said, a lot of folks are blaming it on these data centers that are all over the place, you know, and hey, they may be onto something, especially if you never saw this a lot in the past. But yeah, so you're going to hear some of the videos coming out of North Carolina as well as on their news station. I don't know if this is happening all over, but you know, eh, this has really been a rough summer in America, y'all. It really has. It is no joke. So, y'all, I will see you at 4:45. That's when my next video will be coming up. Have a wonderful afternoon. And don't forget to pick up your Chebe growth butter. I have a lot on hand. Shalom, family.